I got a ton of extra 007 First Light details thanks to a studio tour IO Interactive invited me to. Next to the gameplay from the State of Play, I got to speak to the developers about outfits, the many gadgets, learn more about some of the interesting gameplay systems, and way more. And what immediately stood out to me during the hands-off preview session is how the world and the environment looks. First Light is a great showcase of what the Glacier engine is capable of, with stunning vistas. There are a lot of different types of people in one area while walking around. It really gives off the right vibe for a James Bond game. At first glance, this looks like a very linear narrative-driven game. However, I learned during my studio tour that there will be plenty of open levels where you can choose how to approach a particular character. For example, infiltrating the hotel in the State of Play demo can be done in 5 to 6 different ways. We see Bond here on his first mission as a recruit to the World Chess Championships in Slovakia. At 26, he is the youngest Bond ever and still learning the ropes, while his colleagues who are with him during the mission have already been at it for like 6 months. Since he is a late arrival, his mentor Greenway doesn't really want him anywhere near the MI6 program. So Bond starts by being just a driver, but very quickly notices something suspicious, breaks protocol, and leaves his post to investigate. You can cause distractions to get past guards, like turning on a hose or picking up a lighter to set something on fire, but you can also use your watch to scan your surroundings for possible hints and clues, or highlight objects in the area that could be used or hacked to misdirect guards and take them out quietly. It's also possible to sabotage doors so enemies won't be able to go after you, a very funny detail. Talking to important NPCs like a doorman or a bartender could also give you important information, or you can eavesdrop on them to gather intel, pickpocket important items that are highlighted by the scan of your watch. Many things are possible to silently break in. It's pretty clear that IO Interactive has added a lot of elements from their Hitman games, but we did learn that the disguise system won't be available in 007 First Light. There are different outfits like the ones from the special editions, but these won't have any special perks. It's pure cosmetic and we should be able to apply them through the game's menu. There will be outfits you can collect in the game as well, but the developers couldn't really say how that is going to work yet. Right now the idea seems to be to have them as a reward for certain challenges, which sounds pretty good. They will, by the way, bring over the ability to replay the story chapters so you can try a different approach. Maybe this is where the challenges come in. Okay, getting back to the art of persuasion and misdirection, 007 First Light introduces a brand new mechanic that helps with this. In the bottom right corner of the screen, you will find a meter with a lightning bolt icon. This is called your instinct meter. This will fill up by performing various actions like completing an objective or taking out an enemy. With enough of this resource, you are able to use 3 different options to make your infiltration easier. There is focus that lets you hit harder and shoot more precisely in the different shootouts this game will have. There is a lure feature that's basically a whistle or a line that Bond can whisper so that someone walks in your direction and you can take them out. And when sneaking your way through an area and getting spotted by accident, you can use bluff to talk your way out so you won't cause a scene. But similar to the Hitman games, you will also find special highlighted opponents or persons of interest. These people cannot be charmed or persuaded, and once they spot you, they will call in reinforcements. Now you can fake a surrender where you put your hands up and slowly walk over, and if the target is alone, you can then still take them out. If there are other enemies around, however, it won't work and you will be forced to fight. But there are many gadgets that can help with this, and by the way, leave a like if you liked the video so far and subscribe for more on 007 First Light. You unlock new gadgets as you progress through the story, and you can take up to 4 with you, so can go for more stealth tools if the mission demands it, focus on more combat gadgets, or balance it out. It's up to you. Your watch always has to be one of the 4 gadgets though. With this wonderful gift from Q, you can also hack objects in the environment like electronics or security systems. Even things like a radio or a camera can be used to cause a distraction. Other gadgets include a smoke device that can be used to sneak past enemies or perform a stealth takedown. The laser can be used in many ways, like to harm, blind, or disarm an enemy, and to drop things in the environment like a chandelier to cause a distraction or hurt poor targets that stand under it. There is a flash mine that can be thrown to attach to an object and can take an enemy out when they get close to investigate. You also have a dart phone. Shoot an enemy to make them feel sick so they are stunned for a limited time. You can use this on targets that are immune to your bluff. Like, one part of the gameplay is to strategically inspect your enemies, as not everyone will fall for each trick. So sometimes you want to use your gadgets on one target and save your instinct for the other, or the other way around. These gadgets are powered by resources as seen on your watch UI in the bottom left corner corner of your screen. The battery is for electronic gadgets like the hack on your watch, while the chemical bottle is required for things like the dart phone that contains a special substance to make your targets feel sick. You are able to stock up on these resources by grabbing items like chemical bottles on a cleaning cart or batteries from a toolbox in a restricted area. There is sadly no skill tree in the game to upgrade your gadgets, but you will again unlock more of them as the story progresses. Now, sometimes Bond is forced to fight his way out, and I'm actually really impressed by the variety of ways he's able to take on his enemies. Using his fist is of course always an option, including parrying, but you can also throw enemies against things in the environment, slide over a pool table to kick a target, grab them to rush them into a door that breaks on impact. You can throw enemies off a ledge or even against each other. There seems to be a lot of creative freedom. There are missions where you can't get spotted for story reasons, but don't worry, in most situations there is no instant game over screen when you are spotted. And maybe you already noticed it in the state of play, but when an enemy decides that enough is enough and grabs a gun to shoot you, you will be granted a license to kill. This is basically your green light to go in, guns blazing. Your trusted pistol is already pretty good, but you are also able to borrow firearms from your opponents with a very cool animation and use those against them. When you are out of ammo, you can even throw your gun at an enemy to briefly disorient them. Some enemies also wear armor that require you to pick up some strong weapons like a shotgun, but you can also use the environment by shooting down heavy objects or add explosive barrels to take them down. There seem to be quite some options, and this style of quick thinking has me very intrigued and excited, and I wonder what else they have in store for the combat. Oh, and remember the focus option from the instinct meter I mentioned? Well, you can use it to slow down time and shoot more precisely, perfect to get rid of some remaining enemies or when you are low health. Overall, this game is shaping up to be the perfect combination of Hitman mixed with the cinematic and adventurous narrative of Uncharted, including the very linear and scripted car chase scenes that don't seem too interesting from a gameplay point of view, but do of course help to create some Bond-worthy set pieces. Now let's hope they have enough time to polish everything, as the performance could still use some work, but they said they were totally working on that, and with the release date being March 27, 2026, you would think they have enough time to improve things. So everything combined makes me very optimistic that this game will deliver. Some final notes: I got confirmation that Patrick Gibson is indeed playing the role of this young Bond, and it's really cool to see that The Flight is responsible for the soundtrack. They are of course known for their fantastic work on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Shadows, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I learned that there will be 3 difficulty levels to choose from: story, a default mode, and one for purists, where both stealth and combat will be harder. There will be collectibles to gather throughout the levels, but the details remained vague, and I asked the game director about the game's localization, and next to the standard ethics, I'm happy to report that they are also considering other languages, including Portuguese. They haven't finalized it yet, but they are looking into it. Subscribe for more news on the game, a like would be awesome, and totally check our previous video by clicking on the screen. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!